What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Zamula Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and today, y'all, we have another 2024 WNBA team preview, and we have the Connecticut Sun. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, y'all, so let's get into the Connecticut Sun strengths. And I think their first strength is that they have really good guard depth. You're talking about a team that during the offseason signed Tiffany Mitchell and Mariah Jefferson. Y'all, Tiffany Mitchell is an insane athlete, and she's also a really great on-ball defender. And then Mariah Jefferson, she's a really good playmaker. She can hit open threes, and she also is a really just good initiator of offense, right? Like, she can actually bring the ball up the court. She's not one of those players that just only can pass the ball, but no, she can actually bring it up the court and set everything up, which will definitely help Alyssa Thomas. They also signed Rachel Bannon, which is kind of funny because they drafted Rachel Bannon back in 2016. She's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. And then they also signed Sydney Weiss, who back in 2020, she shot 47% from three. Let's see if she can get back to that level of shooting. And then they also retained Dejanay Carrington and Taisha Harris. Y'all, Taisha Harris, she led the league in three-point shooting last year. And then Dejanay, she had some solid moments for the Sun. I want to see her be a little bit more aggressive when she's on the floor. But that's a really good collection of guards right there, which is something that they had to improve upon, right? Letitia Hyden was just solid for them, but now you upgrade it in a major way with bringing in, like I said, Mo Jefferson and Tiffany Mitchell, Rachel Bannon and Sydney Weiss, and then also bringing, back Dejanay Carrington and Ty Harris. So just really love that collection of guards right there. Look at their next strength, y'all. I think they have an insane amount of versatile defenders, and obviously this is led by the one, the only Alyssa Thomas, y'all, who I think is the most versatile defender in the league. You're talking about a young woman, Alyssa Thomas, that can guard 1 through 5, y'all. Meaning she can guard point guards all the way through centers, and she really had to guard centers last season after her teammate Brianna Jones went down due to an ACL injury, right? Alyssa Thomas played center a majority of the season after Brianna Jones ended up going down with that injury. She performed at a very high level, but y'all, that's when we really saw, okay, like Alyssa Thomas can guard literally every single position that you need her to guard, which is insane. You have DeWanda Bonner, who kind of do the same thing now. BB, she cannot, guard point guards or shooting guards like she used to be able to when she was a little bit younger because, she's not as fast nor athletic like she used to be. But she can still guard small forwards, power forwards, and centers. You bring back Brianna Jones, who y'all think Brianna Jones would have made first team all defense last season had she stayed healthy because, man, Brianna Jones was playing some amazing lockdown defense. And then you also have other solid defenders like Olivia Nelson-Adoda, Queen Egbo, that have nice size, have nice length. So when you just look at it, they have a really great group of versatile defenders. And also, I mentioned her to start this video, but Tiffany Mitchell, y'all, don't get it twisted. She's not just a perimeter defender. Tiffany Mitchell can guard some small forwards and power forwards. Now, Tiffany Mitchell is the biggest player, but she makes up for it with her insane athleticism, as I stated earlier. So just love what the Connecticut Sun have defensively. I think they should be probably a top 2, top 3 team in the league when it comes to defense and points allowed per game. You look at their next strength, y'all, that they can play with multiple lineups and have success. You're talking about a team that because of all the playmakers and ball handlers that they now have, they can legit run 3 or 4 women at point guard. Tiffany Mitchell, Ty Harris, Alyssa Thomas, and Mariah Jefferson, which is elite. Any one of those young women, y'all, can play the point guard spot. And then you also can, mix and match them, right? I mean, Tiffany Mitchell can play shooting guard and small forward. Mariah Jefferson can also play shooting guard. Ty Harris can play shooting guard. Obviously, Alyssa Thomas, she can play the 1 through the 5. And then you have DeWanda Bonner, who can play the 3 through the 4. Brianna Jones can play the 3 through the 5. I mean, Olivia Nelson-Adoda can play the 3 through the 5, right? Queen Egbo can play the 3 through the 5 as well. So you just have a lot of versatile players. I talked about they have versatile defenders. Y'all, they just have versatile players all over this roster. And that's going to allow their head coach, Stephanie White, to really run a lot of different lineups, right? She could choose to put Alyssa Thomas at point guard. She also could put Alyssa Thomas at small forward and power forward. She could put DeWanda Bonner at shooting guard. She also could put DB at power forward. She could put Brianna Jones at small forward. She also could put her at center. So if you have players that their skill sets can overlap to other positions, that is amazing, y'all, because not every team has it. Every team does not have players that their skill sets can translate over to other positions. Like some teams, they have a player, she might be a center, and that's literally the only position she plays because her skills will not translate well to being a shooting guard or small forward. But with this team, they have players whose skills translate well to other positions. Look at their next string, y'all, that Alyssa Thomas, AT, can finally get some rest, LOL. And you're like, Zay, what do you mean by this? Well, y'all, during the offseason, like I said, with them signing Tiffany Mitchell, them signing Mariah Jefferson, them signing Rachel Bannon, that takes a lot of pressure off Alyssa Thomas in terms of having to be the only playmaker on her team. Last year, Alyssa Thomas was the only playmaker on the Connecticut Sun, and she had to play 36 minutes a night. Y'all, it's only 40 minutes in a WNBA game. She was playing 36. That is a lot of minutes. I think this season, if they could cut Alyssa Thomas minutes down to like 31 or 32, it would go a long way. So that way, come playoff time, she is fresh. But I think this is huge for them, y'all. And I'm pretty sure this was one of their goals to accomplish during the offseason, was to make sure they added some more playmakers, some more ball handlers, so that way Alyssa Thomas was not the only one on the roster. Because we saw last year, y'all, there were points of times Alyssa Thomas like she was a little bit tired, which obviously makes sense because she was asked to do so much. Not only did she have to initiate the offense and play make for others, but she also had to try to score 16 points and grab 10 to 15 rebounds, right? And also play elite defense. That is a lot on one player to do all of those things. So bringing in Tiffany Mitchell and Mariah Jefferson and Rachel Bannon, and then you still retain Taisha Harris, all those young women being able to handle the ball means Alyssa Thomas will be able to go back kind of to like how she was playing back in 2019 to 2021, where she was still, passing the ball. She was still playmaking, but she had other playmakers on her team like Courtney Williams, or then even last year she had Tiffany Hayes, right? She didn't have that a lot coming into this season, y'all. Now she does have that. Love what the Connecticut Sun were able to do in terms of making sure they added more ball handlers and playmakers on their team. You look at their next room, y'all, their veteran presence / experience. I mean, this is the team that for the last 5 years has been oh so close to winning a WNBA title. Obviously, back in 2019, y'all, they did make it to the finals, right? They ended up losing to the Washington Mystics, which that was a fantastic series. But this is a team. I mean, DeWanda Bonner has been there and done it. Alyssa Thomas has been there and done it. Bree Jones has been there and done it. Then, Rachel Bannon, she's been there and done it because she's had success with the Lynx in terms of going to the playoffs. Tiffany Mitchell, even though Tiffany Mitchell, has never been to the playoffs up until last season with the Lynx because she never made it with the Fever, she still has experience because why, y'all? She did go to the playoffs last year. Then what she did in South Carolina, I know this is going back to her college days, but what she did in South Carolina, Tiffany Mitchell is used to playing in big time games. And then, like I was saying, Mariah Jefferson, y'all, same deal, right? Mariah Jefferson has played in big time games going all the way back to when she was at UConn. So I just really love the veteran presence and experience that they have on this team. Y'all, in my opinion, the teams that have the most veteran experience, those are the teams that normally win championships. You look at last year, the Aces, right? You have Kayla George, you have Sydney Colson, you have Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, Alicia Clark, Candace Parker, Asia Wilson, Jackie Young. Won the championship, right? Great veteran presence on that team. And you look at Liberty, who were the runners-up, Brianna Stewart, Courtney Vandersloot, Kayla Thornton, John Claire Jones, right? All those vets on that team. But Naja Laney, all those veteran players, those two teams end up being the best two teams in the league. So I think, y'all, the Sun having all this veteran presence / experience bodes well for them. And, y'all, their last strength is that I think they are the toughest team in the league mentally and physically. I mean, y'all, I think this team is full of dogs. Like, seriously, I mean, you talking about a group of women that are just hard-nosed, that are tough, that are rugged, that are not afraid to get in your face, not afraid to trash talk you. Really, 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 really have always loved the Connecticut Sun being a tough and gritty team. Okay, because that is their identity, y'all. While some of these other teams are trying to play flashy, the Connecticut Sun like, no, we're going to roll up our sleeves. We're going to make this a dog fight. And that is what they do. When you play the Connecticut Sun, y'all, you're going to feel it after the game, okay? Because they're going to throw a couple of elbows at you. They're probably going to push you in the back. But that's just the style of basketball that they play. And I can respect that. I can respect it, and I love it. Because not a lot of teams play that way anymore, y'all. They kind of play old school 90s, early 2000s kind of basketball. Okay, but I'm an old head, y'all. I really, really, really appreciate that brand of basketball still being played in 2024. And so when I look at the Connecticut Sun, they're just mentally tough. They're physically tough. You're never going to be able to out tough them, y'all. You just won't be able to do it mentally or physically. Because again, this team is full of dogs. All right, y'all. So let's get into the Connecticut Sun weaknesses. I think their first weakness is that they do not have a ton of volume 3-point shooters on this roster. And y'all, I'm really, really disappointed by the Connecticut Sun because I thought during the offseason this was something they were going to address. Now, they did bring back Rachel Banner, and that was amazing because Rachel Banner is not only an elite three-point shooter, but she's a volume three-point shooter, y'all. She'll shoot 5, 6, 7, 8 threes a game, and I love that. But then, outside of that, there's a major drop-off because even though when I said at the beginning of this video, Ty Harris, yeah, she led the league in three-point percentage last year, but y'all, she only shot about 2.3 threes per game. Okay, that's very, very low. Very low. Dejanay Carrington, she's not really a three-point shooter. Tiffany Mitchell, she's more of a slasher, right? And Mariah Jefferson, y'all, she can hit threes when she's open, but that's the only time Mariah Jefferson's going to hit threes. Like Rachel Banner, she can hit threes even if you're draped all over her because that's just the kind of shooter she is. Mariah Jefferson, she's not that kind of shooter. So when I look at this team, they just don't have the volume three-point shooters that I was really hoping they were going to go out and get. Okay, because last year, y'all, they only took 23s a game. That was like bottom 4 in the league. Okay, which isn't great because if you have a player like Alyssa Thomas on your team, you want to surround her with shooters, y'all. Right? Just like with LeBron in the NBA. Teams have always done what? They've always surrounded LeBron with shooters. You got to do the same thing with Alyssa Thomas. Surround her with women that can really shoot it. And not just really shoot it, but take a lot of attempts. And they just don't have that. You look at their next weekend, y'all. Rebounding, question mark. And the reason I put a question mark after that is because I do think the Connecticut Sun are going to be a much better rebounding team than they were a year ago. Because obviously bringing back Brianna Jones is really going to help. Last year, y'all, they were not a great rebounding team. Because really, outside of Alyssa Thomas, they didn't have a lot of rebounds. Right? Because at this point in her career, y'all, DeWanda Bonner really should not be banging down low, right? I mean, she's getting ready to be 37 in August. She shouldn't be banging down low. You shouldn't be asking her to grab 7, 8, 9 rebounds a game. She could do that in her younger days, but at this point, DB cannot really do that. Olivia Nelson-Adota, y'all, she's not really a great rebounder, even though she's 6'4", right? You think she would be a better rebounder. She's just not. Queen Egbo is solid when it comes to rebounding, but she's still not like a really, really great rebounder. So rebounding to me is still a question mark, still a weakness. But I think because Bree Jones is going to be back, it's not going to be as big of a weakness as it looks like it is right now. Just because, again, once Bree Jones kind of, and she played last night in their preseason game, but once Bree Jones kind of gets her legs, her feet back under her, because last year, y'all, she was averaging like almost 8 rebounds per game. I think she'll be close to that number. And then, y'all, my final weakness for the Connecticut Sun is that they might have too much depth in the front court. Now, normally this is a really great problem to have, but I think for the Sun, it might be a little too much because obviously you have Alyssa Thomas, you have DB, you have Brianna Jones, you just traded for Queen Egbo, like I said a couple of days ago. You also have Olivia Nelson-Adota. Y'all, there's a lot of forward/centers that have to get playing time. Now, obviously DB, Brianna Jones, and Alyssa Thomas are going to get playing time. What do you do with Queen Egbo? What do you do with Olivia Nelson-Adota? Are they really going to play? I don't even know if they can play, y'all, because if you're giving, let's say 29 to 32 minutes to Alyssa Thomas, you're giving, we'll say about 27 to 30 minutes to Brianna Jones, and then you're giving about 27 to 30 minutes as well to DeWanda Bonner. I mean, there's not really any more minutes for any more front court players, right? I mean, so I don't know how Queen Egbo and Olivia Nelson-Adota are really going to be able to get minutes. So I think the Connecticut Sun will have to unfortunately cut one of them because I think it's just a little bit too much depth in that front court. All right, y'all, so let's get into some statistical projections. My statistical projection, I have Alyssa Thomas averaging 14.2 points per game, 9.7 rebounds per game, and 7.4 assists per game, y'all. Insane stat line. I mean, we know last year she averaged nearly 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. So this is a really great stat line. I have DB averaging 15.9 points per game, 5.1 rebounds per game, and 1.3 steals per game, Y'all, like I said, I know DeWanda Bonner is going to be 37 in August, but she's still one of the best players in the league. I think she's going to have another really fantastic year. And then finally, y'all, I have Bree Jones averaging 16.4 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, and 1.6 steals per game. When I look at Brianna Jones, I'm like, I know she's coming back from an ACL injury, but y'all, I think she's going to be fully healthy. I think she's going to be ready to go. And I think Brianna Jones is going to go back to looking like her old dominant self. All right, y'all, let's get into Zay's crazy predictions. And my first crazy prediction is that Rachel Banham leads the league in three-point percentage. Y'all, Rachel Banham, like I said, is one of the best three-point shooters in the league. And I think because she's playing on a team like the Connecticut Sun that have so much playmaking, so many young women that can get her the ball, at the correct time, at the correct spot. I think Rachel Bannon's going to have a fantastic year in terms of three-point shooting. And I think she's probably going to shoot about 45, 46% for three. Look at my second crazy prediction, y'all. I think Alyssa Thomas breaks her own record for most triple-doubles in the season. Last year, she broke the record for most triple-doubles in the season with 4. Y'all, I think she's going to double that with 8 this year. Alyssa Thomas, y'all, I told you. I mean, she might be the most versatile player in the entire league. So don't be surprised at all if she ends up breaking her own record this year when it comes to most triple-doubles in the season. Because, I mean, that's what she is. She is Miss Triple-Double for real. And then my third crazy prediction, y'all, is that Tiffany Mitchell makes all defensive second team. I know this is going to really surprise a lot of people, y'all. I really believe that Tiffany Mitchell is one of the best on-ball defenders in our league. And when you look at her new head coach, Stephanie White loves players that play defense. That's something that she really preaches. And Tiffany Mitchell, she loves to play defense. She had a really great year last year for the Lynx in terms of on-ball defense. I think she's going to carry it over to the Sun. Tiffany Mitchell is going to make second team all defense. And finally, y'all, let's get into my record prediction. So I think the best case scenario for the Connecticut Suns is that they go 30-10. Right, last year they won 27 games. So it's like, well, you bring back Bree Jones, you win 3 more games, you get to that 30-win mark, and this could definitely happen, right? I know the WA is very competitive, but y'all, I mean, the Sun, talk about bringing Bree Jones back. Again, Alyssa Thomas, DB, they're still there doing their thing. And then you brought in Tiffany Mitchell and Rachel Bannon and Mariah Jefferson. I mean, you could definitely be a 30-win team with that cast of characters that you have. Worst case, y'all, is that they go 22-18. Let's just say that, you know, the Fever end up being really great. The Dream end up really improving. The Sparks end up surprising us a little bit. The Sky also surprises us a little bit, and that causes the Sun to kind of lose to those teams that you would think they should beat. So they end up going 22-18. But y'all, my prediction is that the Connecticut Sun will go 25-15. When I look at this team, I mean, this, in my opinion, is one of the best rosters in the WA. Probably, I think, in my opinion, the third best roster in the WA, right behind the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces, y'all. I mean, again, Alyssa Thomas, she's an MVP candidate. Breonna Jones, she's coming back fully healthy. DeWanda Bonner is still a really fantastic player. And then with the additions they made, with Tiffany Mitchell, Olivia Nelson-Adota coming back, Mariah Jefferson coming in as well, Rachel Bannon coming in, Sydney Weiss, Queen Egbo, she can give him anything. I mean, Ty Harris also coming back. So just really love this roster as a whole, y'all. Again, their biggest weakness, in my opinion, is the lack of volume three-point shooters. But, hey, they didn't really have volume three-point shooters last year, and they still had a ton of success. So there y'all have it. That is my 2024 WNBA team preview for the Connecticut Sun. Remember, y'all, laughter is good medicine, so make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm an indie man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.